Hey guys, welcome to Sunday School. This is another online video Sunday School lesson, and I was getting ready to start, but we're gonna wait just a couple seconds here for Mr. Mark. He took Molly out to the bathroom and he's not back yet. Hold on, let me see. Oh, wait, here he comes now. Hey, where have you been?
Hey, oh, you'll never believe it.
Well, you took Molly out an hour ago and my gosh, your shirt is like filthy.
I know. Well, it's kind of a long story. Do you want the good news first or the bad news first?
Well, I don't really want any bad news. I only want good news, but I guess I'll take the bad news first.
Okay, I sent Molly out to go potty, and I went to find her, and she was gone.
Ooh, that is bad news. Are we up to the good news yet?
Well, no, there's a little more bad news. The gate was pushed open, and she got out.
Okay, that's really bad news. Is there good news here? I mean, I see you found her.
Well, we're getting there, but wait, there's more bad news. I had to look. I went all around the neighborhood, and I found her in the neighbor's yard.
Oh my gosh, that's terrible news. Good news yet?
Nope. I found her digging a huge hole in Beth and David's backyard.
Oh man, is there any good news to this story?
Well, Beth and David weren't home.
Oh, well, that's good news. So did you fill the hole back up? Is that the good news?
Not yet, but I have some really good news. Molly found something buried over there.
Oh no, what? I'm afraid to ask. It's none of the mole, is it? Because that was gross that time she dug up a mole.
No, let me show you. Look.
Okay, so wow, how is that good news? That seems like bad news. Might I remind you, this does not belong to us?
Well, it can because David and Beth's house is up for sale. We can buy it and keep the treasure.
Hate to burst your bubble, but we don't have money to buy another house, and whatever's in here, we cannot use that. Again, not ours.
Well, I have a plan.
Of course you do.
Well, if we sell our house and all of our stuff and buy their house, ta-da! What do you think?
I think that is the craziest idea you have ever had, and you have had some crazy ideas.
I knew you were going to say that. And that's why I looked through the Bible and I found a verse that will back me up.
Of course you did. What's the verse?
Well, let me tell you. It's Matthew 13:44. The kingdom of heaven is like treasure hidden in a field, which a man found and covered up. Then, in his joy, he goes out, sells all that he has, and buys that field. There you go.
Wow, that's really a coincidence. That's the story we're reading in Sunday school today. Did you know that? All right. Would you guys like to hear the story? I'm going to read the story while Mr. Mark is showing you the pictures, and we'll see how this goes. Okay, here we go. It's called Treasure Hunt from Matthew 13. It says, one day Jesus was telling people about God's kingdom. God's kingdom is wherever God is king, Jesus told them. It's wherever God is in charge. It's where he fills your heart up with his forever happiness, and you stop running away from him and you love him. But sometimes people couldn't understand things very well, so Jesus helped them by telling them stories called parables. Jesus said, God's kingdom is like a hidden treasure. And then he told this story. Once upon a time, there was a man walking in a field. He was digging. So there he is digging. But what he doesn't know is that field, there is a buried treasure. So dig, 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 clink, clink, clunk. Uh-oh, his shovel bumps into something hard. What's this? He picks it up, dusts it off. It's a treasure chest. It's rusted and locked, but creak, he pries it open. What he sees inside takes his breath away. Beautiful, glittering, gleaming twinkling, sparkling, precious pearls. It's a treasure chest. He wants that treasure. He needs to get that treasure. He must have that treasure somehow, even if he has to sell everything he has so he can pay for it. He quickly buries the treasure again, runs home, and sells everything he has. He takes the money from the sale and goes and buys that field. Now he owns the field and the treasure that is buried in it. He runs back and digs up the treasure again. Jesus said, coming home to God is as wonderful as finding a treasure. You might have to dig before you find it. You might have to look before you see it. You might even have to give up everything you have to get it. But being where God is, being in his kingdom, that's more important than anything else in all the world. It's worth anything you have to give up, Jesus told them, because God is the real treasure.
Wow, I told you it was a great idea. Let's open this up and see what's in it.
Well, are you sure you want to open it up before you put it back in Beth and David's house? Okay, go ahead. Slowly. Wait, I don't see anything.
It's not what I expected.
Wow, what
Look.
is it? Oh, it's a picture of Jesus as the king. Well, I know it's not what you expected, but did you pay attention to the first part of the story? Listen again. One day, Jesus was telling people about God's kingdom. God's kingdom is wherever God is king, Jesus told them. It's wherever God is in charge. It's where he fills your heart up with forever happiness.
Well, the Bible is right. Jesus is the best treasure.
You know, I was trying to figure out how I would think of this when I was a little girl, which was a really, really long time ago. And it got me to thinking about all the things that we wanted when we were getting ready for Christmas. My mom and dad let us make Christmas lists, and we would think and think of all the things that we need, and we would make these big long lists. My brothers were the longest. And we would write all this stuff on there that we really, really wanted. And we would be so excited for Christmas morning. And we'd open it up and we would play and play and play with it. And then one day we didn't play with it as much anymore. And then pretty soon it was too babyish and we didn't play with it at all anymore. And we just give it to our little sister or little brother. And it made us happy for a little while, but it didn't make us happy forever like they talked about in this story.
Yeah, I remember when I wanted a creepy crawler set.
Ooh, me too.
Those were so cool. It had all these little bottles of this special goop, and you would pour it into the mold. There were different colors of goop, and you'd squeeze it into the molds.
I had
and
one.
Then you'd put the mold in this little cooker thing that came with it, and you'd let it go for, 5, 15, 20 minutes, or maybe a half an hour. But when it was done and the little dinger would go off, you could peel them out, and you had these great plastic spiders and bugs and little snakes and other creepy crawler things.
Ooh, I had one of those too. My sister got an Easy Bake Oven, but I wanted the boogie thing. But I don't have mine anymore. Do you have yours?
No, I had it for a while, but then I lost interest and then I wanted something else.
Me too. You can only make so many things, so many bugs to throw at your brother and sister before it's not fun anymore. And over the years, not only did I lose mine, but I had all these other things that I really, really wanted, and then I wouldn't want anymore, and then I really, really wanted something else. And I guess that happiness is only a little while when you want things, but Jesus is a forever kind of happiness. And that's why the Bible says when he is king, everything will be perfect, and we won't need all this stuff to make us temporarily happy.
Yeah, that reminds me of Revelation 21, where it tells us that when Jesus is fully king on the new heaven and the new earth, there won't be any more death or crying or pain or sickness or anything else that's bad. It'll be all happiness all the time, forever.
And you know, that reminds us of the last time that we did the Sunday school lesson and we talked about the temptation that Adam and Eve faced. God made this beautiful land and we looked at pictures of what that might look like, and it was perfect, and all the animals got along. The lion and the lamb were next to each other, and the people were not afraid of the animals and the animals weren't afraid of people, and they had a perfect relationship with each other and with God. And then Satan came disguised as a snake, and he said, "Did God really tell you not to eat of the tree of good and knowledge of good and evil?" And Adam and Eve both sinned. And then the world was broken. And remember, we talked about how it was broken. Not only was creation broken, but Adam and Eve's relationship with each other was broken. Adam and Eve's relationship with creation and all the animals was broken. But the very worst of all was that Adam and Eve's relationship to God was broken. And our relationship to God is broken. And for right now, the way that we take care of that brokenness is we accept Jesus into our hearts. But pretty soon, like Mr. Mark said and read from Revelation 21, the new heaven and the new earth will be just like the Garden of Eden was in the very beginning. It will be completely perfect, without pain, without death, and it will be our treasure. And we won't have to go looking anymore for anything to fill our lives up in. Jesus is our treasure. He is the best treasure ever. Now, go take that treasure chest and bury it back in Beth and David's yard before they catch us and come home.
Okay, good idea.
All right. Well, boys and girls, we hope you enjoyed the story today in the Jesus Storybook Bible, and we really hope that we can see you again very, very soon in person. Until then, have a great week.